Hey, it's Ronnie. The sun came out, but now the shades are ready. It's been cloudy. It rained again last night. It's cool. It's like 64 degrees, windy. I've been thinking, said I have the balance not correct yet, so I went and got the scales out. Right here, where I marked that in the dirt, that was the original balance point, which moved my weight a lot forward this way with the motor and stuff. And I was at about 5 pounds hanging out here. If I put a scale on here or under here, right here or here, I was at 5 pounds and wanted to kick out up at Lake North, but it wasn't running correct, more wasn't running right. Ooh, I even ground that down a little in the sand. Cool. Ooh, yeah, it's steel. I can weld it. And aluminum, I can weld that too. I'm going to build that prop up. I'm not throwing it away. I'm going to rebuild it. Anyway, I had 5 pounds, and then I drilled. I had this other hole pre-drilled right there that I never used, but I was like, I don't know how much transfer that'll do, so I was watching on YouTube at just the tie kits, but they don't have all this big steel on the back like I got, and they got, if they're running a 100-inch shaft, this thing is basically 110 or 11, okay? More longer, less pitch, a little more umph to twist it if you're really reefing on it, but it ain't going anywhere. This is this is so much heavier. And they basically had their pivot points about right here. So I drilled a hole here and moved it. And now I had 5 pounds back there. Now I got 12, and that's too much. And if I'd split the difference, or I just wipe the dirt off, between 5 pounds and 12 pounds, that'd be 8.5 pounds would be right here where I marked there, which is probably going to end up being about perfect for this, but I have the holes pre-drilled here. 3/4 of an inch, just, guesstimates when I was building it, 3/4 of an inch off from dead center. That'll give me about 7.5 pounds theoretically, by calculations in my mind. I'm going to take it and move it and take it to the river this weekend. If I get a throttle and my parts to make my new handle, or, yeah, I got ideas and all, but yeah, I'm going to go run it right there and try it and see if it wants to kick out or not. I have a feeling it's still one of them, if I'm reefing on it, it's going to kick up. I'm going to be off 3/4 of an inch, so I'll have to weld all this shut and then drill a new hole right there so the edge of it just butts up against it, and that's going to be the sweet spot. I about guarantee you, right there. I about guarantee you I was that far off with just guessing, because I had no clue. The dudes on YouTube that have wouldn't give me a hint on what tail weight they're running. And then with the handle, all this, the length is going to stay about the same, except it's going to have a throttle lever that's not broken and a bigger handle here. Because when you spin it around the other way, I can sit on the edge of that seat, or I can stand, or I can use that for a little stool to sit on and sit up a little higher. And then when I put my floor in, that'll be another 1.5 inches higher yet. And it's going to work. But it'll sit that high. You see how that's schedule 80, and it meant grade 8 volts. So I'm going to run it this way, but I'm waiting on parts. What you used to be able to buy in Norfolk at an implement shop or the industrial shops that work for industrial companies that supply them, oh no, before the interweb, they all carried the parts. $10 a parts. It's going to take me, hopefully I have by Friday, and ordered them Saturday, so they maybe got them shipped out today. It's Monday. But I'm going to, it just rained, it's wet, so I'll make sure I stomp my smoke. Instead of this curve going this way, this is going to get cut off. I'm going to box in, I'll have to box in, make this a box with another chunk of angle iron, because I have to be able to get to these bolts if I got to remove the motor, and I can't. I'm going to use collars this big, okay? Basically the size of my fingers that have set screws, I'm going to have big, thick steel collars, 1/2 inch thick, that are welded to the frame here with the straight deal going this way. So they'll be taking the leverage this way, which this ain't taking. And then the only thing it might want to do with the angle handle is twist like this. So I'll probably have maybe 6 of them on here from here to here with a box area. And then I have to have this open, maybe box in this right here. I have to be able to get these bolts boxed in where I can put a big ring right there. So it'll actually be out right here. It'll be a square tube for that chunk, and then square tube here. And maybe one here just so I can adjust the length. And there'll be a set screw in each one that would keep it from moving this in or out. But if it's got an angle built out and you're reefing on it, the other guys run into problems and it twists them. The whole handle that's bent, it comes up like this and then this and now here, and then you're reefing on it, the whole handle goes whoop. So they drill a hole in and put a little set screw bolt through that. Well, I know if you're reefing on it, this is what happens when you put stuff through holes. So I'm going to have 3 or 4 round clamps like this with just a set screw, not tight, real tight, just to keep it so it can't move in and out, which it ain't going to want to. And then I'm going to use 2 split collars, they call them, the same size, but they don't dig in, they don't crank into the steel, they squeeze all the way around, and they're going to be welded in here and here, and they clamp so freaking tight it ain't ever going to rotate, and I'll never have to drill a hole into a tube like this and then end up wallering sometime. It'll just squeeze it, clamp it, and it ain't going to move, and don't have to drill a hole in that's going to waller out. It's just going to crank that puppy tight. Okay, that's plan number 2. That's how to fix that. Number 3, I told you how it don't want to tilt in the mud because it's hooked to the pickup, and if I pop that pin and it tilts up, it makes the angle go this way and this way on that tongue, so it brings it together from there to where it's hooked in my pickup. And it's quite a bit. I checked it, it's almost a foot. Well, you get in the mud, it don't want to move. So I was thinking, well, what are you going to do? And I'd like to have it tilt down, when I need it. So I have an idea for that, $20 and some welding. Right in here where it's dirty. No hand job, no, I was thinking about putting a lever on this end, some kind of, a 2-ton bottle jack, about this big around, 7 inches high. I'm going to make a bracket to weld it probably about right in here for the throw, because then they got 6.5 inches of travel. So if I mount it and go 6.5 inches up, that's going to bring, I got to do my calculations. I have to move it up or down or in or out. Yeah, it'll push, and I'll have the pickup locked where it's going, and it'll force this thing up and drag these wheels forward through the frickin' mud no matter what, with 2 tons, 4,000 pounds upward force on it. And you sit here with a little hand crank, go boom, 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 and it'll stick out about that far, and have a pivot on the top and mounted salt or a pivot on each in there. No big deal. I said just maybe $25 worth of parts, but my time to get it welded and cut and everything and put in. But yeah, because I was thinking about putting a lever where I could just reef on it and have a stop. But my shoulders are already crummy, my wrist's crummy. I exploded this one that I'm holding, and I got 2 really bad shoulders and a really bad freaking elbow. And if it takes a minute to use a hydraulic jack, it takes like a ½ pound doing this. Yeah, geez. If I don't have a girlfriend pretty soon, I might get a lot of experience on doing that, but a different angle. But I don't know, I'm all right. But yeah, I can put a jack in here and force that up in the pivot point here. And, if you move this from here, this distance, 7 inches up, that's bringing that trailer to angle about like that, and it'll force it up from right here. So yeah, that's my plan. I said about $20 a part. Just stick out, and I have to make a little deal to hold the little handle, and then if I need it. Doot, 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 doot. Jack her up. Piece of cake. Yeah, in the mud, it works on the grass or on a concrete ramp. I already tried it. I can just push on a little bit and she slides and it'll tip right up. In mud where I'm backing into like I did the other day on my video, oh no, it won't move anywhere. So I'm gonna make sure it works anywhere I gotta go. So that's the plan on this, okay? There you go. So that's the scoop. So I'm gonna wait on that for a while. Because I'll just, if I gotta go down the quicksand hole again, I'm dropping the boat on the grass, and I'm going in nose first because I ain't playing around in the quicksand like I did last time. I'll just push it in, jump it across the grass, and then walk along the sandbar out. Because I'm gonna test it. I have a feeling I'm gonna run down to West Point. Once I get my parts, I have a feeling they're supposed to show up by Friday. All of them, but I got stuff that was supposed to show up 2.5 weeks ago, so I had to reorder battery cables because I still don't have my battery because I don't have my cables for electric start yet. 15 days. I said I want my money back, and I ordered a set from some other people. We'll see if they show up by Friday. But yeah, them collars, $10 worth of collars without shipping, can't be found in town anymore. One place had one of the solid ones with a set screw, and I said, I need 4. We have one. Well, one ain't gonna do anybody no good, because even in a factory situation or a farming situation, if you need one collar stop, you have to have one on each end of the shaft. Just, there you go. Yeah. So yeah, thank goodness for, and yeah, we can get it in 3 days or overnight it. Yeah, for $80 for a frickin' $1.95 frickin' collar. So yeah, I'm stuck waiting for that. My exhaust pipe, I said this muffler's under here that got me with that little teeny hole that big around. Still waiting. I got the muffler part. Original Briggs & Stratton crossover. I checked it. I'll probably make some bigger hole in it, but I think it'll be out about this far with a stainless steel pipe coming from right here. It'll be shooting out right here. Basically straight out this way to about here with a big old round muffler about that big and about that thick. That pipe was supposed to be here last Thursday. It's Monday. It still ain't here. I got the muffler. It was supposed to take a week, and I got that in 3 days. But you know how it goes. But yeah, there's the plan. I figured I'd let you know. But it's working. And I said in this prop, I have that aluminum. I have aluminum set up for welding now, so, but I think this I can get hot enough to use that hardened brazing aluminum stick. It just got to the edge where it was starting to shrink or down. I'll just build it up and use my calipers and get it to the right thickness and die grinder when I got time. I'm not, geez, they're $28 a piece when you include shipping. Yeah. 16, 17 bucks ain't much. 28 bucks, oh yeah, I can spend some time and rebuild it and balance it. No big deal. And this is what I was going to try when I'm going to go down to West Point. This is an 8.5 weedless. This is supposed to be a 7.5 weedless that I bought from SPS, but I ain't going to dog them, but they hosed me on that. Look at the pitch on this. This is an 8, this is a 7.5. I paid an extra $8 for a weedless. Don't that look like the same freaking shit? Exactly. It don't look nothing like a weedless prop, which looks like that. See the difference in the throw? See the difference in the size and the throw and the length of the pitch on the blades? That's a 7.5 standard, and they hit me up an extra $6 and said it was weedless. I ordered weedless. Well, that's just a standard. But yeah, if I got a load, I'll have to fill the guts in like I did with that one and this one, you know, with JB weld and thread them. But yeah, what do you do? But I did order an 8-inch replacement like this. We'll see how close it is to this one, because the other dudes I ordered them from Mud Skipper, they're all out of 8-inch. And I got this 8.5. This baby take some torque. That's why I figured a 7.5 against the current if I had it load in. But no, that's just a standard 7.5. Yeah, it says on here somewhere 7.5, and then the dude's name that made it. But yeah, that's not, if that's weedless, it sure ain't my kind of weedless. It sure looks like a standard to me. just saying. Take that one and this one. All right, this one's a 1/2 inch bigger, but yeah, look at the size of the blades. That's a weedless. There you go. All right, it's all good, man. What are you gonna do? You gotta deal with what you got. You try to fight with them, and there ain't no point in it. Just, I said, that'll have its purpose, a 7.5. I'm loaded heavy. I'm thinking the 8's gonna be about right. And if I want to cruise, you know, and not go wide open and pulling a major load or anything, and want to cruise a distance, I think that 8.5 weedless will work fine. Because I'm getting the motor running. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to rejet that carburetor though. I seen other dudes that use this Predator, and they're right down at Florida at like sea level, and they were still running rich with this. And this, the jet in it now is for sea level, and then they have a different jet for 3,000 feet elevation and one for 6,000 feet elevation. They get smaller, so it doesn't put as much gas in. Well, my problem is I'm at 1,500 right here, around 1,500 feet elevation, and the dudes at sea level, theirs are running too rich with that jet. They're running too rich. And so I know at 1,500 I got the air screw and everything backed out about as far as I can go, and I can't hardly go any farther. If I can't get it to burn gray on the plug, I'm gonna have to swap jets out of the carburetor. And then if it burns white and I try to rich it out, I can always drill that one out just a smidgy with my carburetor jet drill bit set you do by hand, and make that hole just a tiny little bit bigger. But I have a feeling this jet is too big for anywhere it runs, unless you're 1,000 feet below sea level running. I think the only lake like that is somewhere out in Russia. There's something like 800 feet below sea level lake. There you go. All right, have a good one. That's my plans. Take care. Peace. Love. Have a heart. A lot of traffic going by. Have a heart. It's all good. I want to have it all working. I said I'd like to get the floor and everything and all that till then, but first I'm going to get it running correct. I know it's solid. I can refine it and beat it like unbelievably, and this ain't going to fail. So, failure points are there. Prop if I'm in sand, if I refine it and bury it, instead of just getting out, even though I got my boots on and walk 8 feet. But I wanted to see what it did and what it'd take. And it'll take it. Much easier to blast through that silly stuff if you watch them down when they're running in the grass. Yeah, let them bury their shit in solid sand bottom and let it rip. They won't handle it. They'll snap something, I'll guarantee you. Mud, it's just like liquid water with some dirt in it and real fine. Not sand that's hard as a rock, like trying to blast through wet concrete. There you go. But yeah, I'm getting it worked out, waiting on parts. I got some work done in my pickup over the weekend. I got the steering sector fixed. That was getting wore with the new coupler and stuff. And got to do a lot on it yet up here too. But yeah, that's the plan. So take care. Like I said, the Kia Racer, I'll have to check it one of these days when I got time. I put in some block sealer to see if that helps seal the water pump for a little while, because this pickup's killing me on gas. When it ain't rain, I've been driving my Lincoln. I hate to do that for work. This is what's going to be going down the road, but I got to get a battery for it, and it's been sitting 6 years, so I'm going to have to take the fuel pump and everything out. You can do it through the trunk and suck all the old fuel out, even though I had stable in it, I'm sure, and the fuel filter and everything, and run it and go from there. It wasn't in the greatest shape, but it ran, and it burns oil too, but, for a beater car. Yeah, there you go, man. You take care. I love you. Never give up. Keep on plugging away. You can dream it. and it don't exist, like up there, make it happen. I will be back. I promise. Ciao.